You're listening to the Vetted VA podcast, Your Journey Home. Nathan Nottingham is your host today, and he'll be chatting with Jason York.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Vetted VA podcast, Your Journey Home. And in this series, we're spending time talking to the men and women that make Vetted VA kind of what it is. They are the lifeblood, the push point, the moderators, these facilitators, the service people that serve this community. And with me today is Jason York. He's an East Coast side human being. He likes that side of the U.S. I still don't know why. We've been trying to pull him into Texas, and we're getting closer. I think one of these days we might actually pull him all the way out here, but he's got a fantastic story. He joined Vetted VA from the very get-go. He's been known to us and known to Christopher Griffith for a long time. He's got a heart of gold. He's got a massive desire to serve, and we're going to uncover where that comes from and how he's actually taken that whole entrepreneurial spirit and that service drive into something bigger with his business partners, into what is now Oval Mortgage. So, Jason, welcome. Super happy to have you on here with me.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah, you're the bald sexy man. You are the guy. You've been a huge part of Vetted VA for many years, since we started, since the community kind of launched. You study, you dive deep. Where did it all come from for you? Why are you focused the way you are? Why is this such a big deal for you?
I've been in the mortgage business coming up on 20 years. I can always mark it because I started when my first son was literally a month old. So not the best transition you can make at that time, but it worked out. And I've been with GoPrime for coming up on 16 years. And our owner, John Rodgers, he's a veteran, and he's always been very VA focused. And he kind of guided me and kind of steered me toward that, and of course educated me and just kind of got me really dialed in there. And then it kind of just grew and grew and grew from there. And I mean, in this business for 20 years, I've seen everything. I've been through the ups and the downs, and some of the days you're like, why do I do this? But working with military families, I can easily just look back and be like, that's why. Like, that makes this daily grind worth it. And seeing people that either somebody's turned down before or didn't give them right information, being able to help them out, and just, I mean, a lot of times speaking to one spouse while the other's halfway around the world, and getting a phone call with the spouse in tears of just like, thank you so much for helping us get through this and keep my sanity. So that's really why it's like, okay, I'm fine not doing any other type of loan, even though I do, but that's the more of my why.
And you started really, you have Oval on your shirt, and we're going to talk about that. It was Oval sign behind you, but you started with GoPrime, and that was kind of your initial facilitated into it. You're a loan officer leader, regional leader, I think, with GoPrime. And walk me through that. Like this, what kind of lender is GoPrime?
We are a full correspondent lender, what some people will consider retail. But we are different from a retail lender in that we have many different lenders or investors that we can go to do your loan, but we're able to underwrite it ourselves, do everything in-house. It does give me a little bit more freedom of being able to take care of things for kind of some of the hindrances that the industry has put on different parts of our business. And to accompany that with learning on the Oval side, which is the wholesale side, seeing a lot of encumbrances that are now put on brokers that, again, when even though they're my competitors, I'm like, that doesn't help the borrower. That doesn't make sense. Being able to go through all that and see the different sides. But we're a small local lender. We're out of North Carolina. When I started, it was almost essentially a corner office in a small building, and I found my people of where I like to be, and like say I established my reputation there and have built things along the way. And so we've seen it definitely grow over the years, but we still keep our small business mentality of we treat each other like a family, which can be hard in this business because of the ebbs and flows of it's busy, it's not busy, it's busy, it's not busy. And
Yep.
so we take it to heart and we make sure that everybody's taken care of.
The process with which you handle files, I've seen you, I've gotten to know you better and better over the last few years. You have a heart of a teacher. You really like to kind of go in and say, man, that yeah, I'm not sure. Let's go figure it out. And you dive in and go teach and figure it out and come back and teach. And
Mhm.
you challenge and you push in ways to not tell people do this or do that, but more of a did you consider this? Here's how I see it. How would
Mhm.
you see it? Then and we've had some great spars and really challenging good transactions that way and communication that way. Where does that heart come from for you? This teaching mentality, this push that you come from and bring to what we do here.
I think part of it is the community that we have at Vet VA, where everybody has the same drive to help veterans,
Mm.
but sometimes you don't know what type of car you're driving. You don't know what
Hmm.
type of gas it takes. And being with so many like-minded people, and a lot of times I think I know the answer, and then all of a sudden somebody else puts a different point of view in it, and I'm like, oh, you know what? That might be right, or that's a good way
Yeah.
of thinking of it, because I don't like not knowing the answer. So when a
Mhm.
borrower calls me or a loan officer calls me, I don't like not knowing the answer, but I'm not afraid to say I don't know. I'll tell you, hey,
Mhm.
you know what? I don't know, but I'll find out for you. Because
Mhm.
now, I mean, I tell my underwriters all the time, I was like, I'm like a 3 year old. Even when you tell me, here's the answer, I'm going to say, why? I just
Yep.
want to know why, because it's probably going to come up again. And
Yep.
so I can then have that answer, know how to explain it better. And a lot of the stuff in this business, you find out when you find out. And so a lot of times it's not the most pleasant way to find out, but when I find that out and I can then relay that to somebody else of like, hey, this is something you need to watch out for. This is how I found out. So I just so you don't find out that way.
Yeah.
Um, and in knowing that, hey, I'm helping them help a veteran, it it gives you that little bit of a high of you get from being able to help people, which we are a service industry, and so that's where I get the want to it. And I get people from different parts of GoPrime. They know, hey, I know VA, and so they'll call me and ask me questions just to confirm. And
Mhm.
same thing with different loan officers. But uh, but really just being able to pay attention to detail and put things together um, to make sure you're doing it right. Because a lot of, I mean, I
Yeah.
see so many different things where if you don't ask the right questions in the beginning, that can derail you completely once you get 3 weeks into the process.
Yeah.
So,
I Let's talk about where how Go Prime and Oval because it was I think our second summer camp. You brought John out
mhm.
and to our summer camp effort, and it's just a fun time in the middle of summer in North Texas, shooting guns, riding on airboats, right? Just a big old adult summer camp to really bring a virtual community into real, you know, person to person community in
Mhm.
face and after that, you guys went to work on some stuff. Talk to me about this Oval Mortgage and how Go Prime led into this and what y'all are working towards.
Well, I mean, OVAL stands for only VA loans, which
Hmm.
a lot of times when I actually spell that out to somebody, it's like, oh my God, how did I not get that? Um, but but yeah, John came with. I invited him just because I mean he's very similar to me, and again I've been with him for 15 years. We're friends now. We're not just coworkers,
Hmm.
and um, I know the stuff he likes to do. So I'm like, hey, we're going out to Texas. We're gonna be shooting guns. We're gonna be fishing. We're gonna be, and he's like, let me see if I can clear my schedule. And so I thought he was really just coming out for fun and enjoy this. Um, he had already had this idea kind of in his head, and of course, I found that
Hmm.
out later. But he spent most of the time there at the camp talking to people and finding out, hey, what do you like? What do you not like? What are you struggling with in the wholesale side? Where are you getting hangups from? And taking all that feedback, and then came back. And again, I didn't know he was even doing it. I know he's a talker and he talks to people, but I didn't really know what his agenda was. So we came back, and I'd say like maybe a month or two after that, he reached out and said, "Hey, I got an idea, but I kind of need you on board with me to kind of make this happen." And that's where I came up with Oval, just because there wasn't anybody doing it, and we knew it was something that we as GoPrime did well, but we wanted to kind of take it a step further. So it's a completely separate side. There is no kind of intermingling other than some personnel just for when we need to
Hmm.
pull extra resources. But it was something that we knew we could team with, or put together a good team to be able to help those that were either getting denied or getting the runaround for stuff that they shouldn't be. Um, it doesn't mean we were going to be miracle workers, but if there was a will or a way, we could figure it out.
Hmm.
And partly with me kind of leading it with the experience that I have, I can help guide that and help guide people that are doing their first VA loan, or hey, this is my second one. I haven't done one in 10 years. What do I
Yep.
do? Okay, hey, did you ever think about this? And just knowing how to rethink different scenarios and talk to them. And sometimes it's just having another train of thought that, oh, I didn't even think about that. So,
It's this is the one thing that I think I want to make really, really publicly clear, right?
mm,
There's let me pull the veil back a little bit. In this industry of mortgage lending, you get somebody who finds a niche. A lot of times they'll say, "How do I build my team bigger?" Ultimately, just we'll serve more, we'll build bigger. And you would find somebody who'd say, "Wow, this is a really big thing. I'll fix all the pain points. We'll recruit loan officers in here and build a bigger company."
mhm,
What was so unique and different about this is that John, with your leadership, well, more of the regional oversight leadership that you've brought to this, was like, look, it's not about building us bigger. We want to provide a better mousetrap for those that are trying to serve the greater veteran community. And being a third party origination platform, a wholesale platform, you all went, okay, what are the pain points? How can we solve them as a boutique wholesale lender that only focuses on VA loans? And frankly, I've seen you guys. Um, y- you have, as part of Vetted VA, we get to see your wins. We get to see professionals reaching out to you and saying, "Hey, I got this weird turn down. It doesn't seem right. Here's what the handbook
mhm,
says." And you're like, "Hold on." You go back to your team and say, "Yeah, we can do that. We've got the investors for it. We definitely will handle it the way the handbook says to handle it." And you guys really fill in the gap, a gap that's missing in a lot of lenders because they make economical decisions, which
right.
totally fine. Economical decisions to create a lowest common denominator, and Oval comes in and goes, "Look, it's only via loan. We're going to handle it as best we can based on securitization and resales and what the market will bear." But you guys are at that point helping more veterans without helping yourselves first. And that
Mm,
is a pivot, and one to be commended publicly and praised loudly, even though it always makes you uncomfortable, which is why I'm enjoying saying it right now because I'm watching your face go, "No, I need to deny this." No, Jason, you and John have built something really amazing. So thank you for focusing on that and
yeah.
doing that. And also thanks for trusting Vetavia to train your people. Like, you've put all your people through it, and it helps create a common dialogue across
Mhm,
the ecosphere within lending on what, why, how, what
right.
we get this done. Oval's amazing, and Oval's been a huge supporter of VetaVA, and we really appreciate that and appreciate what you've built.
Absolutely.
What is a one common obstacle you find yourself helping loan officers get through with their VA loans right now in this role of regional national sales manager for Oval?
Um, I think it's hard to pinpoint one thing. Sometimes
Mhm.
it's the things that you can see. Like, I mean, in this industry, there's a lot of things we can see that are a reality. Like, this is what really happens or happened,
Yeah.
and but then here's what's on paper. And um, so it's when you see something like this should make sense, or this should be able to be done, but then you can't. And it's I What's changed from me from my position is I have to now, instead of just being from the originator side where I'm just gung ho, this should be done, this should be done. I have to look at from the lending side and almost kind of play devil's advocate on a lot of things and figure out what could go wrong. Um, and so, in kind of leading back to, like you said, we've put all of our underwriters through your training. The first time they started doing that training, they're like, I got a message back like, hey, this is all like loan originator facing stuff. Like, why do we need to do this? I'm like, because it's to give you a different perspective.
Mm.
And so after they got done, they were like, okay, that was actually amazing. That was really helpful. And so my underwriters and I will bounce stuff off each other from different perspectives in different ways. So they'll
Right.
see it from my side, and then I'll see it from their side, and then it's collectively coming like, okay, well, if we can make it work this way, I think I can make that work. Um, and one thing with our underwriters, they're actively looking for a way to make a loan work, not just, oh, this is too difficult. I don't feel like dealing with it. Denied. And you go off your way. If it's something that can't be done, but there is a potential future way, you get a phone call of just like, hey, we can't do it right now. Here's why, but I think you could do something once you get past this item right here. So I think you could do something in 4 months. So it
Yeah.
gives somebody additional viewpoints of, okay, hey, it doesn't work right now. I can tell my borrower why, um, but I can say, hey, it's not all done now, but in a couple months, I think we could get something started.
Isn't it? It's amazing how many times the care and concern to go the extra last mile, right?
Mhm.
When you're in a dialogue with somebody, it's easy to go, "Hey, it doesn't fit the box, and I need to move on to the next thing. Sorry, bring me your next file."
Mhm.
To have the care and compassion to say, the answer is no right now, but here's what we've got to work on, and then we can
Mhm.
say yes. Here's how we're going to get it. Here's the last mile that you need to go through. That's a servant mindset and a servant attitude that really makes a difference in people's lives. That's the difference between hope and no hope, and hope destroyed. Right? That is the process.
I think also in being able to admit when you're wrong. I mean,
Mm,
my job, of course, in my position is to push a little, but I push gingerly with the underwriter to think things through or search things out. And sometimes she'll have an initial no, and then I'll kind of challenge it a little bit and kind of do some digging and find. And she's like, okay, you know what? Let me give me a little bit. And she'll make sure, you know, what, actually, I think you're right. I reached out and I got this back, and so this can actually work. Um, Jason Sharon actually called me the other day on an Earl going from a um, going from an arm to a fixed. It's been a long
mm.
time since I've done that, and I thought I told him all the right things, and then I was like, and then I was going to be all nerdy and go to the Jenny May guidelines and just kind of snip him the guideline, and I went there and I couldn't find it, and so I started digging into it and got with my underwriter, and came to figure out I was wrong on half of it. So I
Mm.
called him back. I'm like, hey, I just wanted to. I was like, I don't know if you were starting a file right now, but here's the extra part I just figured out that I was wrong on that. Just because if I don't relay that, he's going to start a file, or anybody's going to start a
Yep.
file with the information I've given him, and
Right.
then figure out somewhere through that, oh, that's not right, and then they're looking at me. And what also helps me on my oval side is, since I do still originate, I know what it's like to be in their shoes.
Mm.
When everything comes crashing down, I know what that feels like. When everybody's calling you for answers, I know what it feels like. So making sure that the information I'm giving them is vetted, it's correct, and something that we can stand by.
It's so I love how you just pointed that out. There's the VA lender handbook. We talk about that all the time on this
Mhm.
podcast. We talk about it all the time. There's other things. There's the Ginnie Mae Chapter 24 securitization of VA loans. There is that applies so
It's a
much
danger thing is
across.
watching paint dry.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but it's like, hey, can we as a wholesale lender originate this and get it off our books and sold into the securitization market? And
Right.
if you don't do it right, the answer to that is no. And then you put yourself in a hard place. You
Hmm.
can't fund future loans. Like you,
Sure.
this is a big deal. So it's awesome to hear your perspective on that.
Right.
What, since you still do originate your own loans as
Mhm.
well, what do you find a common thing is that you're working with, and you've brought a number of realtors into Vetted VA, got them trained up, they still serve a number on the East Coast there, because I think you're in Maryland
I'm in
or
Virginia.
Virginia?
Mhm.
Virginia, yeah.
Mhm.
Um, what is a common thing you find that you have or did? Maybe you're so well known you've already solved it for Virginia and Maryland together. But what do you overcome? What objections are you helping realtors overcome and offers about the VA loan? What common things are out there?
I mean, I've been fortunate that a lot of the realtors I work with are either veterans themselves or their spouses
Mm,
of veterans. So they are very
nice.
familiar with the whole entire military life,
Hmm.
and they're very passionate about it. So a lot of times, I mean, the big thing is people say VA loans aren't as competitive, or they're not as, when you're getting multiple offers, this shouldn't, you should take this loan over a VA loan, which I think is ludicrous. But
Yeah.
my agents, they know how to combat that very easily. But if I'm working with a new agent or an agent I haven't worked with before or may not be as familiar with VA, being able to now reach out to that listing agent and saying, hey, here's what we have. This is what I do. I specialize in this. And here's why this is going to be a stronger offer than your conventional. Um, I mean, I've thought it's been very simple where if somebody's putting 20% down, that might be the only 20% they have. And if something comes
Mhm.
in low, they don't have room to make it up. My best example is I've got a retired three-star general that I've done multiple loans for over the years. His retirement income is more than most people's regular
Mm,
income.
right.
Assets out the whatever, but he will still. I mean, it's a little bit different now with rates where they are. But when rates were lower, he was still purchasing a house with 0% down because he could.
Yeah.
And that was like, because I'm going to take my money and put it somewhere else and make me more money. And but if something happened, he'd have plenty of money to then come in and fix that to do what he needed to do for the house. And
Hmm.
so that's why, I mean, I like having those conversations and challenging a listing agent of just like, hey, this is why this is going to be a much better offer for you. And plus, I've got two different ways I can combat the appraisal if I need to,
Right.
and I know how to do it. So it's
I love that,
those are the
man.
challenges that you look forward to. I mean, obviously, it'd be better if the appraisal came in at value, but so knowing that you can do that is better.
Always better. Um, it's been awesome to watch you grow and lead as a man as well in this business, and appreciate just your marriage and your family. Like you brought your boys to summer camp this
Yeah.
year. It was a blast. Normally, your wife comes and she's like,
Hmm.
"No, you.
Yeah.
I don't know why she didn't come this year, but." Your sons did, and
Yeah.
that was fun. Man, the
They had a
Yorks and
blast.
shotguns, you got to watch out for those guys. They're
Yeah.
sharpshooters.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it.
That was definitely a really cool benefit this year of, I mean, because you come home and you talk about it but you can't really
Mhm.
fully grasp it until you're there. And so
Yeah.
them being able to do that, and of course all the help that we have there, they're taking the time out of their daily lives to work with people that have either never shot or shooting for the first time and just go over the nuances, and they remember you. And so that's one of definitely the highlights of camp.
Yeah. Where does Oval go next? What are you guys focusing on in your trajectory?
Our focus is continuing to grow, but to grow the right way.
Mhm.
I was thinking of this earlier, and one of the things I do when I reach out to new brokers is let them know that this is an actual partnership. I'm not
Mm.
trying to pad my numbers and get as many people signed up as possible. We are selective, um, and so since we're still growing and I mean, part of any growth is figuring out how you can improve things. When
Mm.
there's something that we're doing that we may just think this is how you do it, um, and we come to find out, no, you guys are the only ones that do that. It's like, okay, let me figure out how we can maybe adjust that. And so we value feedback from others of just say, hey, not just you guys are wonderful, you're great. We want to hear, hey, this could be done a little bit better, or hey, other places don't do this. Like, oh, okay. I mean, so I've been doing this for so long. Sometimes I just do stuff and don't question it because it's, oh, okay, that's what I'm used to.
Yep.
But if somebody says, hey, no, nobody else does it that way, or it could be a different way to do it, I'm like, okay, that's worth thinking.
Yeah.
And until we talk about it and have that question asked, then we'll just keep doing it. So when we get that feedback of, hey, here's something you could do better, we value that just as much as the hype.
Yeah.
So
I
to
love
answer your
it.
question, I think it's just going to be continue growing and expanding some and continue doing things better.
Yeah. I love that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening to this and you're a veteran active duty service member looking at using your benefit, and make sure you ask your loan officer about Oval Mortgage. Maybe check out their pricing too, check out their service. And if your lender hasn't heard about them, well, they can reach out to Jason. You'll find him on the Vetted VA website. He is there in Virginia. I believe he's also listed on the Maryland state as well. Maybe
North
not, but
Carolina.
either way, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Let us know. We can get you contacted, or go to ovalmortgage.com. You'll find out more about him and what he does there as well, or his personal development, which is GoPrime. So GoPrime, Jason York. So, man, I appreciate everything you've done. I appreciate the time and effort, intention and intentionality with which you've served our community and what you've helped build here. I appreciate that you are there. You're always like, yeah, I'll do whatever I can, and that means the world, especially in a place that so many people are trying to do what just makes them a better dollar. And you're like, well, whatever I can do for you, man. I don't need anything back. Just let me know, including the water at summer camp. You sponsor our water bottles at summer camp. And I'll tell you what, how awesome that is every year.
Yeah.
We just got to figure our delivery out next year.
Exactly.
I need a bigger piece of equipment in my house to get that pallet off the truck.
Yeah.
Nah, but I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Any last words or thoughts you'd like to share?
Not really. Just, I mean, thank you guys for building a platform and a community that we can serve. And some of it's just raising awareness to more and more veterans so that they know that, oh, I can use a VA loan, or what is a VA loan? I can do that. Yep. Yes, you can. Or I can, finding out different things that can just benefit them as homeowners, and just making everybody aware of that so that we can better their lives.
Yep. I almost forgot to say this, but if you're a professional listening to this and you want some of the training that Jason has put his team through that Vetted VA provides, reach out to Jason. They've got a special deal with Vetted VA. With a link through him, you can get access to our online self-paced training for free as an Oval partner. So Jason's got a direct link there, and I'll refresh it for him too, because I'm looking at his eyeballs like, does he remember that link is? Maybe I'll send it to him again. Yeah, there you go. So, but he's got that.
The email's like, hey, can you set me up with the training? And I'm like, here you go. You're all set up.
Yeah. That's
So,
awesome. Well, I love
and
it. We
that's
got to
cool
get
when
more people out there aware of it.
reach out, because it's okay. This person's not just looking for answers. They want to be educated.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I'm proud of you. I'll be here to answer any of your questions.
Yep. Just pick up the book and start yourself too. That's
Absolutely.
the biggest deal. All right, man. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, catch us in the next episode. But if you need any help, reach out to Jason York. You'll find him on the vetva.com, or just, honestly, I haven't found many Jason Yorks out there. If you just Google him, he's pretty unique. But I appreciate you, Jason. Thanks for being on here with me today.
Absolutely. Thanks, Nathan.
Thank you for listening to the Vetted VA podcast, Your Journey Home. We hope this information has been helpful, enjoyable, engaging, supportive. But here's the biggest call to action for you. If you are a veteran, a service member, a family member of the same, and you have earned or have access to the VA home loan eligibility and have questions, please feel free to join us at Vetted VA on Facebook. Go to facebook.com, search for the Vetted VA group, and you'll find it. Answer some of the questions to enter, and once you do that, you're good to go. If you're a professional, a real estate agent, lender, insurance agent, you know the drill. Well, as a professional, we'd love to have you join the professionals only group. We do all the same information, but at a little bit different scope because, well, of how you're coming into that information to support yourself and the other consumers that you work with. So please join Vetted VA on Facebook, or Vetted VA for Professionals on Facebook. Follow us on TikTok, wherever you can find it. And as always, all the white papers, the resources, the documents, and the training, the free training courses are available at vettedva.com. You'll find them all there. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. My email is nathan@vettedva.com. I'm the COO, and I'm ready to help. Glad you tuned in for this episode, and looking forward to bringing you the next one. Take care.